Okay, hello everybody. My name is Jameson Chase Young. This is Coins and History, and today we're going over the Benjamin Franklin half dollars, the Franklin half dollars. They were coined from 1948 to 1963. They have the picture of the founding father Benjamin Franklin on the front and the Liberty Bell on the back. And I guess I'll just start in on this right away. If you'll notice, there's a little tiny eagle off to the side in the back. That's because they had to put the eagle on the back. It was due to legal requirements. Legally, the half dollars had to depict a picture of the eagle on the back, but the people who made this really wanted it to have the Liberty Bell, so they just put a little one just to fulfill the legal requirements. I'll read over some of the stats. The stats are it's obviously a half dollar. Its mass is 12.50 grams. Its diameter is 30.61 millimeters. Its thickness is 1.8 millimeters. Its edge is reeded. Its composition is 90% silver, 10% copper. Its silver content total is 0.36169. The years it was minted was 1948 to 1963. It was minted in Denver and Philadelphia. And the Denver Mint minted 18,215,812. The Philadelphia Mint minted 6,024,000. And there was a total of 24,240,000 made. Other things about this coin, other than just the controversy involving the eagle, which is actually pretty appropriate because Benjamin Franklin, he never even liked the eagle. He always wanted the turkey to be the national bird, and he just thought the eagle was just a scavenger. But other things about this is, for some reason, throughout the 1950s, they struck so many of these coins that they let the dies wear down just from repeated use over and over. So that created softer, less defined details in some of the coins. Less detail in lines on the Liberty Bell, and just not as good detail in the front too. This is especially true with coins from the mid to late 50s, like 1955 to 1959. And in 1960, so this would have been the first year that the United States reworked their dies, their master dies. So the problem was largely fixed, and the coin had better detail starting in 1960. And this particular coin, you can see the D right above the Liberty Bell, right under the E in United States of America on the back. I'll zoom in. And the Mint director, Neely Taylor Ross, had long admired Franklin and wanted him to be depicted on the coin in 1947. She instructed the chief engraver, John R. Sinuk, to prepare a design for the Franklin half dollar. Sinuk's design was based on some of his earlier work. He actually is a pretty accomplished guy when it comes to sculpting coins. He did some dimes and some other stuff too, but he had also done some other middles and stuff. And he used some of his earlier work to design the Franklin half dollar. The Mint, after it was done, the Mint submitted the new design to the Commissioner of Fine Arts for its like advisory opinions. The commission disliked a lot about it. They disliked the small eagle and felt that depicting the crack in the Liberty Bell would expose the coinage to jokes and ridicule. Despite the commission's disapproval, the Mint proceeded with Sinuk's design. After the coin was released in April 1948, the Mint received accusations that Sinuk's initials, JRS, on the cutoff of Franklin's shoulders, that they were a tribute to Soviet Union's dictator Joseph Stalin, even though Joseph Stalin never had an R as a middle name. So I guess it was just like a Cold War thing. Everybody was so worried about things that they were seeing things that weren't even there. Okay, in 1960, the thing that I'm going to talk about is the Beatles. The Beatles' first concert. Now, actually, they had a concert in August 15th, 1960, and that was in Liverpool. But that was just a one-time thing. From there, days later, they flew to Hamburg, Germany, and they started I don't know if you want to call it a tour because they weren't touring around the city, but they started a 2 month stay there in Hamburg, Germany. As everybody knows, they were an English rock band formed in Liverpool in 1960. The core lineup of the band comprised of John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr. They are widely regarded as one of the most influential bands, and they were, really important to that whole 1960s counterculture and recognized by, pop music and all that stuff. Now, as far as the Hamburg stuff, yeah, it was in August 17th, 1960, the Beatles played together. Their first live performances were at the Indra Club in Hamburg, Germany. And yes, the Indra Club in Hamburg, Germany was in the red light district, so they were playing in front of a lot of strippers. And also, the Fab Four did not include Ringo Starr. I'll get around to this. Their drummer at the time was called Pete Best. Ringo Starr wouldn't come around for another couple years in 1962. And they played at this venue in Hamburg, Germany for 48 nights straight. Their stay was to go from group's run there at this Indra Club was from the 17th of August to 16th of October. The Beatles were to receive €2.50 per person each day. They were expected to play 4 hours a day, every day, and 6 hours on Saturday. But as far as that Pete Best, at the beginning of the Beatles, there's actually like 3 or 4 different guys named the fifth Beatle. I'll start with a guy who's typically referred as the fifth Beatle, and that's George Martin. He was the record producer who worked with the band throughout their career. He was instrumental in shaping like their sound and their recording techniques, earning him the nickname of the fifth Beatle. He's the one who's most commonly widely known as the fifth Beatle, but there's also Pete Best. He was the drummer before Ringo Starr. I did hear he just wasn't quite good enough to compete at that high level. And eventually they replaced him with Ringo Starr. There's another guy named Stu Sutcliffe, and he was a bassette who was a member of the Beatles in their early days before being replaced by Paul McCartney. The band's manager, his name was Brian Epstein, who played a crucial role in their early years, and a keyboardist who named Billy Preston. And Billy, he played on some of their later albums and toured with them. But anyway, yeah, it was in 1960, the same year this coin was being struck, the famous Beatles that everybody knows and loves so much was starting their career. One performance in Liverpool in 1960, and then for the rest of the time they spent several months playing in a strip club in Hamburg, Germany, and that was the beginning of the very famous band, the Beatles. And that's what was going on in 1960, the year that this Franklin half dollar was minted. I think these Franklin half dollars, I don't know how to explain it. They have this very simple but awesome look to them. And thank you for tuning in. Please like this video. Please subscribe. My name is Jameson Young, and this is Coins and History.